Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. My name is KJ Davis, and I'm the founder and the owner of the Journey to Wholeness Center and this afternoon's host. So thank you all for tuning in. So today is going to prove to be a very interesting show. It's a topic that many people are very interested in, and it's all about relationships. So what we're going to talk to you guys about today is the top 10 relationship myths. So the reason we came up with this topic is that everyone, on whatever journey that you're on, you don't make it within this realm without dealing with people
Right.
and relationships with your children, relationships with a significant other, and more importantly, a relationship with yourself. So what we are deeming relationship myths is something that we're going to just talk about and kind of hash out, just trying to understand why these things are myths. The reason that I highlighted some of these things as myths is because the thing that we want to keep in mind on our own personal journey to health, healing, and wellness is that self-empowerment begins within. So a lot of these things are ideologies and beliefs that causes us to look outside of ourselves for wellness and healing and wholeness. So this is why these things kind of made the list, because instead of being things that are empowering to that individual, they tend to be disempowering, favoring one person over the other, one sex over the other, etc. So the idea is to really be able to bring the love and the light back within and have relationships with whole people versus people who feel that they are not complete or not whole or not able to be truly, genuinely themselves.
Right.
So with that said, we have our relationship expert and one of our life coaches at the Journey to Wholeness Center here with us today, Miss Tammy Walker.
Yes, hello.
Woo-hoo.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Tammy.
Thank you
So
for
she's
having
going to
me.
help us during this discussion, as well as this Sunday. She's going to do a
Yes.
workshop at the Journey to Wholeness Center on relationships. So I'll give you guys more information about that when
Yes.
we wrap up. So thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
And we also have our resident guest, Miss Wanda Bolter,
Hello.
VP of WB Marketing Solutions, and also the Executive Director of Marketing and Social Media Advertising at the Journey to Wholeness Center. So thank you for joining us, Wanda. All right, so let the fun begin. I will warn you all that some of these topics or some of the myths are very controversial. So we'll kind of hash them out and give you our 2 cents on them. Some of them you will completely agree with, some you will disagree with, but I will guarantee you it will be some good dialogue and robust discussion about each. So let's get started. You ready, ladies?
Yes.
I'm ready.
All right. Number 1. It's perfectly okay to go through my significant other's phone.
Ooh.
Huge relationship myth.
Big.
Lots of people, and I've heard this in so many different circles, that it is okay for me to check my man's phone. It is okay for me to go through my woman's phone or my wife's phone or my significant other's phone.
Okay.
So what do you guys think?
Well, what I hear a lot of times is, what if they give you a reason to? They feel it's justified if someone has done some behaviors that have made them go to the phone just to double check, just to see if it's okay. So, what is that okay? When someone is giving you the reason to?
What do you think?
Well, for me, I've had an episode where I did do this, and I was dating a guy, and we were newly dating, sort of, but it was some drama going on, long story short, and he had a maybe baby. This lady was saying maybe he had, she had a baby with him. So he had taken a picture of the baby, put it in his phone, and I think he was asleep. So I said, well, I want to see the baby. Oh, I saw the baby, all right. I saw something in that phone. It was him and another lady. It was a video. This was years ago, like maybe 10 years ago, but they were doing a video.
What kind of
It was a
what I
sexual
think?
video.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I'm saying all that to say, if you're with someone where you have to go through their phone, boyfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend, maybe that's not the person for you. You know, I don't go through my guy's phone. He doesn't go through mine. I don't feel I need to.
Right. And that's the key with relationships is getting to the point where you're safe and secure enough within yourself. As you said, Wanda, if you are with someone who's giving you a reason because of certain behaviors, you have to question yourself. Why are you still with this person? Okay. A lot of times it's just, I want to prove it. I want to know it.
Yeah.
But you already know it. You already feel it.
Yeah.
It goes back to that thing that we said, trust in our intuition. And then you have to be prepared to do something about it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we just want to know. I just want to bust him out. I just want to see what he's doing. But if you have no intentions on doing anything differently with yourself in terms of being in that situation or being in that relationship, then why look?
Why look? That's right.
You know, why look?
I think what you said is right. The reasons. You already had the reasons.
You already had
So why
it.
don't you follow your own instinct? You need no more proof other than he's giving you reason.
Right.
And reason should be enough to say, okay, what do I want out of this? Do I need the phone really to say, okay, that's the proof. Let me write that down. Okay, now. And most of them stay anyway. Most people wind up.
They do. After all of the drama, after the confrontation, after I found this in your phone, after the tears and the arguments, you stay.
You're still there.
Anyway,
So why
you're still
look?
there. So why look and constantly look?
Constantly looking, and then it becomes an inward thing. Okay, now are
Yes.
you insecure? Is that what you do? Some women are
Blame the other one,
they
and
blame-
they're insecure because he cheats, or she made me insecure because I don't trust her.
Why is that not true though? Because I hear that a lot, that I'm not insecure. He did something that made me do it. So what I notice a lot of times is missing the disconnect of why it makes them insecure, why that would be an indication. Why do you think that's an indication of it?
Because there's a certain lack of love for yourself. Because once again, you're looking for somebody to validate you.
Right.
Versus if you're confident and secure within yourself, you will not be in a relationship, in a situation where somebody does not honor you or makes you feel a particular way. And we don't trust how we feel.
Exactly.
We got to have proof. But like you said, you get the proof and you still do it anyway.
You still do it anyway. And like you were saying, like, someone that really loves you, they're not going to have you wanting to check their phone. Why? What is that? I mean, hey, you're in a relationship. This is how I view it. I'm in my 40s. I don't have time to check Eddie's phone, my boyfriend's phone. I'm very busy. He's very busy. That's not what we're doing. I trust him enough that I don't have to. He can have my phone right now. There's nothing in there. I don't. I'm not doing anything. I don't have time. That's And
I agree. And I think that's a good point that you bring up about being in your 40s, because I think it does come with age and maturity and going through it enough. I think all of us have had those moments of insecurity where we've gone through phones, and I'm guilty of it. Back in the day, I didn't went through phones. I didn't found stuff. I didn't broke up with the person and had the tears. And see, what we focus on is health, healing, and wellness.
That's right.
So how healthy and how well is it for you to deal with the stress, the anxiety, the tears, the emotions that come with going through the phone and finding this? And now what am I going to do? And all of this, and 9 times out of 10, you end up staying. Or even if you leave, you still are stuck with this feeling of dishonesty and mistrust, and it creates emotional blocks in your body that eventually you have to clear. So then you walk around, oh, I can't trust men. All men are dogs. All men cheat. All men do this.
You repeat the same
behavior. And men do the same thing. I can't trust women because she cheated on me. And I knew she was cheating on me. And, and what happens is we get stuck in that same cycle over and over again. You know that you are in a place of healthiness and healing within your relationship if you are brave and strong enough not to pick up that other person's phone.
And also, if you feel there is reason that you may want to, then the relationship needs to end.
Then the relationship needs to end. You all need to have a conversation.
Or a conversation,
Right.
a discussion
Something is
about
going, I'm
Something
feeling
is
some
wrong.
kind of way,
Yes.
you know, so you flush that out so you don't even have the desire to pick up that person's phone.
I know.
Or get with the type of person who gives you even the inclination that he's that type of person, or
Right.
she is that type of person that you need to check behind them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very true.
All right. Moving on to number 2. And that's number 1. That was such a big one with people.
That is huge.
Number 2, I need a man or woman to complete my life. I am not complete unless I've heard, and this is, women have it, I think, a lot worse than men. But I've heard so many women, if I could just find Mr. Right, if I can just have that perfect man on my arm.
That's
Right.
soulmate.
That's soulmate. Everybody wants the soulmate.
Yes.
Men don't have it as bad
No.
because a lot of men are kind of content with where they're at in their lives, you know, regardless of playing around and all that stuff, but they don't put that same emphasis on, I got to be married. So how many women have gone, you know, I'm 30 something years old.
Oh, yeah.
I have to have this significant other to define me, to complete me. And they marry the first thing that comes along just to say and to show they, oh, I'm married, and show their girlfriends, oh, my husband, oh, my husband, oh, my husband.
Yep.
So talk to me about that. Why is it that, and some men are like that. Some men, you know, are really out there looking for Mrs. Right, and I won't feel complete until I find this perfect person. Everybody's looking for perfection.
Right.
So tell me about, what do you guys think about that one?
Well, for me, I would think that it seems like everything kind of goes back to being whole yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because with being whole within yourself, you are complete.
Yes.
There is no other half to you. There is no missing component.
Right.
If you are all, if you feel whole, if nothing, you're not in lack of anything in your life.
Right.
You're grateful for what you have, you appreciate it, and everything else that comes your way is gravy.
It's gravy. It just flows. You're not desperate. You're not I have to minimize myself so I can find this perfect man.
Yeah, it's so true. I think what people don't understand is all energy. When you're in a good place, good attracts. It's going to come to you. You know, men are very, very smart. They sense desperation a mile away, and they sense confidence. So if you are acting desperate, they're going to run, or some may be an opportunist. You know,
absolutely.
It all depends, but no one can complete each other. Like you just said, we have everything we need. Most of us, you know, we're very fortunate. Even some of us that don't have everything we want, a lot of us have our needs met.
Yeah.
And if you're grateful, good health, you have great family, great friends around you, of course you have problems. We all do. I could sit here and ramble off all my problems, but at the end of the day, we are in good places, a lot of us.
Yeah.
And just, you know, go around with that energy, let it shine, and the energy is going to, you know, show itself and attract what you want. But you have to be complete. That's when I did meet Eddie, when I was at a happy place being single. I mean, for years I wanted to get remarried, and it became a journey, an obsession. I just, you know, would be so upset. I don't have anybody. I don't have kids. It just became this, you know, this video in my head until I wasn't happy. So once I let it go, I said, you need to let it go, enjoy life, enjoy each day. And it just seems like things got a lot better.
Absolutely.
So
I love that. I love that because you provided a solution in terms of what we can do to begin. Because yes, the idea is that everybody, I want to be in a relationship. I want to have a partner, somebody to journey with. And that's how I think about relationships. I don't think about relationships as I need to be with somebody to complete me, or I don't feel complete unless I'm with a man. I feel like a relationship, to find a partner, somebody you can share your journey with, because we're all on individual journeys.
Yes.
So someone you can share your journey with, that is amazing
Yeah,
to me.
it is.
But it's not a situation of lack. And a lot of us come into relationships depleted.
Yes.
We're depleted within ourselves, and we're looking for that other person to energize us, that other person to make us feel good.
Yeah.
So if you are a person and that's what you're looking for, and you're saying, I need to get married because I want to feel good, I want to feel better about myself, I want, then you're creating a space. And like you said, everything is energy. You're creating a space of lack. And with the more lack you create, the more lack you bring into your space. So the minute that you begin to say, I can go out to dinner by myself, I can enjoy a movie by myself, I can go to a concert the minute you begin to really love you and have that relationship, establish a very strong relationship with you, you attract any and everything that you want to you, because your vibration, your energy is now at a higher vibration. Right. So for those single ladies and men, just be cool. Yes. Because what's for you is for you. So be cool. You don't have to force it. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to compete with one another. No. Be cool and work on you. Yeah. There's so many things that we can do and explore within ourselves. Absolutely. Yeah. That'll keep us more than occupied and more than happy.
And finding what makes you happy. Because sometimes you don't even know what makes you happy within yourself when you're looking for it outer places. Maybe taking some time to find out what makes me happy.
Absolutely.
Right. That is so true.
Because how can you expect somebody else to do it when you can't do it?
Can't do it.
When you haven't found your happiness. Okay, so that's a good one. Yeah. Number 3. And I added this to the list because I have heard this before, and this is something I personally, you ladies may feel differently, and the viewers, the audience may feel differently, but I personally don't. I should always put my man or husband before my children. I have heard women say that over and over. I know women who will feed their husbands and make sure their husbands are taken care of before the children. I've heard women, my husband comes first and then the kids. Like I said, I have my own opinion about that.
I'm being on this one. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I'm not come first, but I do think, I don't know. I have to think on this one. What do you say, Tammy? I'm going to lead this to the relationship.
To Kimberly, I know.
I think I am too.
And the reason why, I guess mine is more how I was raised.
Right. And me too.
It could be biblically as well, but this is how I feel. You have to put your kids. You have to take care of your kids. But at the end of the day, these are for married couples. So
right.
If once your kids move out, it's you and your husband. And this is what I've noticed now, you all. I did this group therapy thing years ago with some ladies. And this one lady, she was married and she had the empty nest. And she was in this therapy session with us because she didn't know what to do with her husband. They had spent so much time with those kids doing this, doing that, doing this. Once they were out, it's like, uh-oh. So what we gonna do? I don't even know if I like you. So that's why some people say I'm putting my husband first, because at the end of the day, your kid's gonna be gone.
Yeah, and I agree with you because I feel the same way. My mother, I think, a lot of times put the children ahead of her relationship, which is fine to do, but there's balance, and that's not the ahead of necessarily, but finding a true balance that everybody gets their needs met. So maybe not the ahead of, or not behind someone else, but everybody needs their needs met. And I think sometimes we go so much to our children that we don't feed his needs.
I got it.
And make a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship is everyone having their needs met. So if you focus so much on your children and he's out here feeling neglected because the kids come first, the kids come before me, the kids come. It's the balance of saying, and I think why some people say to put the man first is to give him that appreciation for being the head of household, let's say, or guess, or for lack of a better word, because I don't know how else to label it that way. So it's not necessarily that he's above my children, or honestly, the woman probably is above both of them, but it's the idea we're letting them all have.
Right,
It's the
exactly.
feeling we're letting them all get from what we're doing. We're kind of in control of the whole situation.
Right.
But so everybody feels like they're getting their needs met. We know how to balance it and show him like, hey, you the king. Hey, you all are. And when the children are gone, we have each other. We've nurtured our relationship. I put him ahead of, not ahead. I don't like that word. And I think that's why people we get attached to using the wrong words sometimes. And I don't think he's coming ahead of your children. We're finding the balance that everyone gets to need.
And I like that. And I can back off a little bit and agree with that. It's just from the vantage point, or from the vein that I've heard it in, or have witnessed or experienced it in, is in some cases you have men that get kind of jealous of the children. They get jealous of the mom who, has to attend to the children's needs, because the children tend to be a little bit more needy. And those relationships tend to be very dysfunctional. Whereas if you have a husband who is jealous of the relationship you have with your children, or try to sabotage the relationship you have with your children, and I've seen it happen, and I've also seen women who succumb to that, and it is all about him, so in that instance, I don't agree with it at all.
But I think it's back to her being whole.
It is back to her,
because I
being
think
whole.
if she's throwing that balance off track, and putting this in so much into the children, that this person finding the right person.
Absolutely.
The right
that's where
person
it begins.
is not
The right
going
person
to be
is
jealous
not going to
of
be
your
jealous.
children.
That's right.
So that's what throws it all off, because now you're trying to,
especially blended families. If you think about blended families, that can present a problem or an issue. So I think it's absolutely what you said. It's really making sure that you're in the right relationship, one that will honor you and your children, and you provide that balance, where it's not just all about, because women, especially with blended relationships, they do that sometimes. It's all about the kids, and then so I
all about
agree.
the man, to make him feel like, oh, you saw this, that your children are sitting here feeling like, what about us?
What about
us?
Yeah, that is so true. And if I was married with kids, I would hope my husband wouldn't want to get fed before the kids. I mean, you have to, when you have kids, this is how I feel. I wish I had sometimes not, but I don't have any. But I feel they're a blessing, and it's your job to nurture them and feed them. You had them. So I don't think a good guy, he wouldn't mind if you fed your boys first and then him. I mean, that seems kind of petty.
It does.
It is petty.
It is petty.
My plate has to be first. That's his issues, ego issues.
That ego issues. Yeah. So that's another one that is really good. The fourth one, relationship rules and games work. So we have all of these books about relationships. Steve Harvey, what was his book?
Think Like
a Man, and the 90-day rule, and the cookie rule, and all of that. So what do you guys think? Because we've all taken some time to read relationship books. Men hate them. They hate women for reading them. But, for me personally, it still goes back to, I don't want to say common sense, because common sense is not that common. It really does go back to the very first thing we talked about, really knowing you and honoring your feelings. So if you really know you and honoring your feelings, you don't have to play games with anybody. You can make decisions based upon how you feel and your instincts and your intuition, if you trust them enough to do it. If you find that you're in a place that you got to play games with a person, or I don't trust him enough to be intimate with him, then why are you with him?
The manipulation, I think it sometimes feels that we use these games to manipulate or change the outcome, and it usually doesn't. No matter whatever game we play, whatever ideology we put in them, we're going to wait 90 days because this happens. No, if you didn't make sure you chose her 90 days, you're still going to see the same person.
You're still going to see the same person.
That's very true.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, I'm going to say this all the time. You know who you are dealing with 3 months into that relationship, even maybe a month into the relationship.
Sometime a month.
It's up to you whether or not you accept it or move on, or because a lot of times we'll say, oh, well, this person will change and they'll really get to, or we just talking. It ain't that serious.
Right,
we
right,
just,
right.
you know, so I'm not expecting him to do any of this. And the same with guys. I'm not expecting her to do X, Y, Z because, you know, we just kicking it, we just hanging out.
Right.
And nobody's expectations are getting met because you've already put what you want, what you feel, you put that on the back burner just to be with this person that you're just kicking it with. So when bad behavior shows up, you say, oh, well, that's okay. We wasn't in no relationship anyway.
That is so true. I know the times I'm a game player. I was, and I could play the game very well. I'm serious, you all. I can, because I'm kind of competitive, and at the end of the day, nobody wants to lose. We all want to win, and we want what we want. And when I was immature and younger, hey, I played that game, and it actually worked, but it's draining, you know. When you play that game, you got to keep it going.
You got to keep it
and
going.
Like the game I would do, if I was with a guy, he maybe acted a little shady or disinterested, I would date somebody else.
Right.
And here he comes running back. It worked.
Right.
I mean, it does work.
It does.
Short term. Games
Short-term.
work, but you don't want to have to do that.
And you can't build a
short-term.
foundational
No.
relationship
No.
on games and rules and manipulate, like you said, manipulation.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time.
It takes time and energy, and it's not going to end because as soon as you lay back again, you're going to have to play this game over. Who wants to keep playing games? Like you say, it takes a lot out of you to keep up with the game. And where have you learned to solve the problem, to solve why you even need to play a game?
Yeah.
Because you don't trust yourself. Or you got to compete with this other person. Or, you know, if I do this better than her, then I'll get them. You know,
never works.
You know, ever.
Never.
I believe you.
It doesn't
Short
work.
term.
But it's like, I have heard this now, you all, where some women, it's a man and it's two women, and one will say, well, I make more than her. Why would he want her over me? I mean, people are thinking they're above someone or they should get the guy. It's never, for me, it's never about another lady. It's about me and the guy that's in the relationship. That's all I see. I have blinders on. I don't even look either way because that's who you need to focus on.
And that's what it should
I don't
be
have to compete
about.
with my sister.
Right.
With my sister, that's crazy, but it's a lot of it going on.
It's too much of it going on, and people are being conditioned to think that in order to get a man, especially women, men are competitive by nature, and you know they really think very simplistically: if I have this car and I make this money and I got these clothes, I'm gonna get this girl. And that's their competition. So they're always trying to one up each other. But that's traditionally how men are about everything. They're competitors.
But they also fall back too. If you want to take them.
Take her, right.
They ain't going,
right. But women nowadays, they are clawing each other eyes out to get to men.
I've heard a group of women say to me that if I meet a man, it is a given that he's probably already seeing someone else. So I have to compete. And we debated this for a while. She said that it is a competition. I need to prove to him. Why would I expect him to just leave her? I need to do this competition to get him in the end.
Wow, that really puts that. I mean, that dude must really be a hot commodity.
Who are we talking about?
So what about you?
Oh, maybe I'll compete. No.
So, I mean, so what about you? That baffles me because it's like you're going to put all of this work into competing to get a man when you're not even investing the work in you, because if you were investing the work in you, you would feel totally different. You would know that you're the prize.
Or he's not investing anything in either one of you.
And he's not
He's letting you all duke it out with
He's
his
like,
feet
yeah.
up. Like, whoever wins, I'll take. Who's the winner?
And he's sitting back reaping all the benefits. Okay, she cooking, she cleaning, she sexing, she doing it. You know, so he just
he's like win.
Win. I got it all going on.
Can't blame him.
You can't blame him.
No,
Because he's looking out for himself.
Yeah.
But once again, she's in a place of disempowering herself to get this man.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, what type of relationship or foundation are you building on that?
A very shaky one, that's for sure.
A very, very
That's
shaky
not
one.
good. Never compete. Compete with the person in the mirror. That's who I compete with. Tammy,
Absolutely.
what can I do better today? Tammy, what can you improve? What can you learn? Who can you help? I don't compete with other women. I just don't. I have enough confidence in myself. I love myself enough, and I go with it. I'm not perfect. I don't have a perfect life. I'm just happy and peaceful, and I love others. So I want to see everybody happy. I want to see.
And at the end of the
everybody
day,
happy.
you want to be with somebody who honors that in you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not who is weighing you against you,
Yeah.
against you, again, you know.
It's
And
sad.
it becomes obsessive.
Yes,
Back in my unhold days before I began work on myself, I would spend countless hours trying to figure out the ex-girlfriend. What did he see in her? What does she look like? Why did you just it becomes obsessive.
Yeah.
But all that is a mirror image of your insecurity, of how you feel about you.
Yep.
You know, because if you are confident within yourself, then like you said, you'll have blinders.
Yeah.
And if you're confident in the kind of relationship you want, if you spend all this time, months, trying to compete, when have you actually worked on the two of you and what you're getting out of this for him? If your focus was on what I want in a relationship, you'd have no time to even focus on what someone else is doing. So now you spent months with somebody in a whole competition. And if you do win, what do you have? You don't even know what you have.
You don't even know what you have.
That's just, that's bad. Bad news. You don't want to do that.
Bad
Waste of
news.
time.
Waste of time.
It is.
So that fed in. So we talked about the relationship rules games, which was number 4, which fed into the 5th one, that women must compete with other women to get a man. So now this 6th one, and this is more for the married people. I will kind of opt out of this since I'm not, never been married. When you marry, your husband and you become one.
So fallacy. And there are people who probably like that idea of we are one, but I'm whole. I don't need another half to be one. I am one.
Okay.
And we complement each other. We both bring something to the table, and I still want my individuality in my own life and what I do. And I'm very secure in you having your own life and what you do. And I don't need anyone else to make me one.
Right.
Tammy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you should be one within reason. You're a unit. And I guess I get this from, again, it's how you raise sometimes, I believe. It's what you saw.
Your belief system.
That's true.
System. My parents were married 29 years until my dad passed. And they had a kind of shaky relationship. But what I did get from them and what I loved, they were a united front. Even, when I would come to my mom, she'll say, what does your dad say? So it was like they always stuck together, and they didn't separate that, which I really enjoyed. That helped me.
Right.
And I've noticed now a lot of some couples, they do everything separate. I'm like, why are they married? This one does this one does that, which you should, because we all have our own hobbies, but you should do something together.
I agree with that.
Why did you get married? I just don't. I guess.
So what is being one then? I guess everybody had to define what is being one.
So when from what my frame of reference, from what I hear a lot is, and once again, this goes back to both men and women who end up losing their individuality in a marriage or a partnership, where it's either I can't do this because my husband said I can't do this, or I can't do this because my wife said that I can't do this. I really want to do this, but I can't. It goes to the extent where, some women, well, I want to go back to school, or I want to change my careers, but my husband doesn't support me. So it just really goes back to, and some people would say, well, you guys are married, you have to make that decision together. It's about being one. So they end up, and because of our belief systems, I do believe that it is a fallacy that you are one. I think that you are individuals who support each other, who journey together, who raise, so I love that united front, but to completely give up your individuality,
your wants and needs for
your
someone
wants
else.
and needs for someone else because you're married. And that's what, well, I'm married, I can't.
And women in the sacrifice. I think a lot of
sacrifice.
times I felt like I needed to sacrifice for this relationship. To be one took sacrifice. Now with our children, we always showed a united front, but that's to be good parents.
Right.
But that wasn't necessarily for me. That was for my children's sake. To have healthy children, we need to show a united front. But that still wasn't all the time. That we were going to do regardless. But individual of that situation, a lot of times I make sacrifices and hold him and be mad about it.
And be resentful.
To be resentful. I'd have this resentment because I did this united front for us, for our relationship, for us. But even though I thought I was doing it for us, a lot of times in the background, I was holding a lot of resentment that I was giving up this or giving up this.
Right.
And so I think that's what, when I say I'm not necessarily agreeing on the one, is the one and I lose me.
Absolutely.
That's never good. I did that. I was married at 22, and my ex-husband, he was very controlling. And I'm young. What do I know? 22, you don't know nothing. At 22, you're just young.
You're just young.
No.
Right.
So I sang in a choir. I love my choir. And it was always a complaint. You're always at church. Okay. So I end up telling the director, you know what? I think I'm going to take a break, just to try to keep some peace in the home. Okay. Then you all had long hair. You should cut your hair. I think short hair would be cute. I cut my hair. It was like always something he wanted me to do. And I'm just like, stop. I mean, I finally realized, like, this is not about being a wife. He wants to control me.
This is not about being
He wants to control me. So that's not good. That's not healthy.
And I think in relationships and marriages, we have to pay attention to those. Those are red flags.
Red flags.
Those are red flags, and we have to pay attention to them, even if it means giving up the marriage or giving up the relationship, because one can't be bigger than you.
Yeah, and you're not. I wasn't happy. I was miserable.
Absolutely.
It got to the point where this isn't marriage. This isn't what I signed up for. So you could be like kind of united, but you're always going to be an individual.
Absolutely.
I think that's what makes your person love you, is because of who you are.
Absolutely.
Being with someone that you can express yourself. Feel free to say, I believe maybe I should do this, where you can have conversations and grow, and he can hear you and say, you know what? Okay, well, that makes the point. That's choosing who we're with is so important. And knowing who we are, being really strong on who we are.
That's even more important, because a lot of times when, like you say, you got married young, a lot of times when you get married young, or you have these long relationships before, or you constantly seek a relationship before you're whole yourself, those are the pitfalls that you run into, because you don't know who you are. You don't know what it is that you need. You don't know what it is that you want in a relationship. A lot of it is trial and error, but it really does go back to, once again, just paying attention to how you feel and not letting belief systems and labels. I'm a wife, I'm a husband, these labels, not letting those define you. But if it's something inside of you saying red flag, listen to it, because those bells go off. They're there. We just don't hear them. In every relationship, if you were ever in a relationship and it wasn't the relationship for you, you knew it. And you knew it early on.
You knew it, right?
In those 90 days that you were holding out.
Right. You knew right then and there. but you talked yourself out of it. You said, well, you know what, but he's a really good guy. Oh, but you know what, he's really cute. Oh, but you know what, he comes from a stable home.
A good provider.
Oh, he's a good provider. Oh, he'll be a good father. Oh, we'll have cute babies. When you're young, you just tell yourself all of these things as those warning signs are going off.
Danger.
Fire
beware.
So the lesson here is everyone listen to you. Trust yourself.
Right.
Because, and it may require you to walk. It's fear. A lot of it is fear-based.
Right. Yes.
Because you find somebody, you're attracted to them, you like them, they full of crap, they on BS,
right?
But you like them, and then you're afraid. Well, what if I don't find anybody else that I like this, or what if I, so you begin all the stories of talking yourself out of why you should be with this person instead of going with how you feel. And then a year goes by, and then 2 years go by, and then 3, and then now you have children. Now you're further involved, and now you live together. Now, so now everything, and you're sitting there, look, what did I do? Are you looking at this woman? Men have that bad too, because women are so controlling that the men finally give in, and they're like, what did I get myself into? Yep. But for men, it's a little different because they go and they establish new relationships.
Sure will.
Women are looked at very differently if they go out and establish new relationships. So men get their little side pieces. So they're gonna get their happiness. But women, we're strong and we're gonna put up with it, and we're just gonna stick it through, and I'm gonna stick with my marriage vows, and I'm just gonna hang in there. But for what? For what? At the end of the day, what do you get out of it? So you have to really think about that. What are you sacrificing and why?
Kimberly, you said something about if this doesn't work out, I'm not going to find anyone else who I like. What is that? Like, I wonder, what is that lie that we tell to ourselves?
We do. It's fear, because we, once again, don't feel the love within ourselves. We don't look at ourselves as being greatness, as being divine, as being whole, as being beautiful. So because we don't truly feel, and everybody say, I do love myself. No.
You both said no at the same time.
No. Because you hear it all the time. And they get it's like I've been there, so I know it to be true.
Yes. No. Don't. It's not about us going back and forth saying, I love myself. I do love myself. No. It's your actions.
It's your actions.
It's your actions. And in a city of Chicago, 2.7 million people, there is somebody else out there.
Yes.
I promise you.
I promise you.
You have to think about it. People that have lost spouses, young couples, and they were able to move on to someone else, lost them to death. Right. And you just got to know that if this doesn't work out with this individual, I'm going to be okay. Of course, you're going to hurt. We all hurt. I had a broken heart before. I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
And you lived.
And you live.
And it makes you the great people that we are. But it's always
and just telling yourself you deserve better. A lot of times we don't believe that we deserve better. We think, well, this is about as good as it's going to get. Or I'm in my 30s. I'm in my 40s.
I have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids. So we have to stop those disempowering beliefs about ourselves, which will help us make better choices as well.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So number 7. So we talked about women and women having to compete with women. This one is specifically for men. So number 7, men don't need to heal from bad relationships.
Well, I think men are at times more afraid of us, to end up with a broken heart. They don't want to be hurt either. It hurts them to get dumped. I've known guys that have gotten, I hate to say dumb, such a harsh word, but they've gotten, the lady has ended the relationship and it devastated them for a long time, to the point where sometimes they stay jaded for years or forever, maybe. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Worse than women sometimes.
Worse than women. And men, they're raised to be strong.
Right.
I'm not going to no therapist. I don't need counseling. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. So they take this hurt and they bury it, and it's transferred for years to the next
person and the next person, and they don't take the time to heal. Instead, they go get another woman.
Oh, a couple.
And then another woman, and then another woman, and all the pain that they had in that previous relationship, they're spreading it among the relationships, the latter relationships. So I think it's a huge myth that they don't need to heal. Women a lot of times are, they'll stop and say, you know what, I got to figure out why I keep making these decisions, or I'm just going to stop dating for a while until I, do some work on me. But men, they're serial dater. They'll keep going.
Where do you suggest a man starts, though? Because I think for them, women will seek out trying to heal. Men don't, but I don't think they're taught or they even know how to do that. Where would you suggest for a man?
It's not even something that is taught. It's unlearned. What men have to do is feel. They're afraid to feel. So they don't even deal with the hurt and pain. They just, I ain't want her anyway, so they don't give them change. It's just like a loss. They don't give themselves the opportunity to grieve that loss. They don't give themselves the opportunity to feel. So the first thing that I would suggest for men, if you just are getting out of a relationship, be still and feel, whether it was good, whether it was bad. It doesn't take going to a counselor, and it doesn't take all of that. You can heal from within just by feeling and then letting it go.
Letting it go.
But they don't feel it. So if you don't feel it, you're so busy running in the streets, drinking, hanging out. You never feel, I ain't care about her anyway. She was this, she was that. They don't feel and take accountability for the choices that they made and what they did in the relationship.
That's right. They can use that time to heal, and also, like you said, take inventory. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? A relationship is two people. When I got my divorce, people always would say, so what did he do? Cheat on you? No, my ex-husband was abusive. So no, that wasn't even a problem of cheating, but it wasn't all him. It was 50-50. I did things too. I wasn't the perfect wife or did everything right every day. So I had to look at myself. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I know I did some things wrong. So I tried to change that, going forward. I haven't gotten remarried, but I tried to do it in my relationships. And
that's the first place you look is within. Because at the end of the day, and I hate when people say that, like, you chose him. But I had to think about.
A lot of people are saying that lately.
But which is
you chose him. You gotta take accountability because you chose him.
You're gonna choose somebody.
You're gonna choose somebody. But in taking that and doing that inventory, you say to yourself, okay, what was I feeling and I experiencing that I ignored that I needed? So yes, that is my accountability. Yes, I did chose him, and I chose him at a point in my life where I was not complete, where I was insecure, where I had forgiveness issues, where I had trust issues. And that takes time. So just pause, men, take a deep breath, pause, take inventory of what's going on inside of you. What belief systems, you got to be macho, you got to be strong. You just got to give a woman money and she'll be happy. What belief systems are you holding on to that prove to be ineffective for your relationship? So that's where the healing begins, especially for men who don't want to go, I'm not weak. I don't want to go see a counselor. I don't want to do this.
Meditation. They can do a journaling.
Yoga, journaling. Yes. Amazing tools to just be able to feel and understand what's going on. So number 8, This one is a complaint that a lot of men have, but I think women feel this way too. Now that I have him or her, I don't have to look or act my best anymore.
Oh, yes.
That's a big one.
That
It
is a
is.
big one. You know, they feel like, oh, I got to be cute. I got to do this to get this man or to get this woman. I got to do this. I got to wine and dine her and take her places, take her on trips, all that. Once you get her, everything stops.
Yep, it's true.
That's true, and I think also the woman that says I have him, and now maintaining herself becomes something that, oh, there's no need for that. I have him now. And not that you have to do this, do it for yourself. Now you're not doing it for him, but at the same time, I do think maintaining yourself and loving yourself all the time, if you keep doing that and worrying about and caring about your health and it all the time, not that because I'm in a relationship caring about my health goes out the window,
Right.
that I can have high blood pressure and high cholesterol because he loves me.
Right.
Just always continuing to love yourself when you get in a relationship, and then that will then trickle down to that you maintain what you had from the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
And in the defense of men are very visual.
Very visual.
Very simple, very visual.
They are.
So if you were looking all jazzy and you had your makeup and your little, that's what they want.
Yes.
And it's not that you're doing it for them. As you said, you're doing it because this is who you are.
Yeah, that's so true.
Versus I was doing all this stuff just to get a man.
Right.
And that's the problem.
That's
That
the
is
thing.
the
If you were
problem.
doing it to get a man, then you were doing it for the wrong reasons from the beginning. If that wasn't you, be who you are. Continue to be who you are. And because I have a man doesn't mean I should stop.
Right.
And because I have a man doesn't mean I should start something. It should be for you. Always. What you're doing should be for you. And if you're pretending to like sports and you could care less about Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal or I don't even know the other man's name. Stop.
James, all of them.
Stop. LeBron James. That's what I was thinking of.
Stop. Yeah, that's very true. You definitely want to keep yourself up, but for you feel good when you look good. I know I do.
I do too.
And to me, it's all encompassing. The physical, your hair. You want to have your nails and toes. Just keep these things manicured. You don't have to have everything polished, and it don't have to be perfect, but presentable and nice for you. Nice clothes that fit your body for you, and same for the men.
Absolutely.
Well groomed, nice fingernails and stuff. These things are
and
important.
all of these 40 plus men talking about they want these old little shapely women with their guts hanging over their belt.
You're right. No.
I'm serious. They want the women to, especially, I know this is a lot in our age group past 40. They want the women to still be, although you done popped out 2-3 kids, although they want the women to be tight. They'll be the first one complaining about, women over 40, they need to lose a little weight. They walking around with beer guts.
I see it a lot, to be honest. I see it a lot.
Yeah, looking like they pregnant.
They look like they're pregnant. So how can you ask for something you're not even
doing?
So it's 50-50. Again, we're visual too. I look, I have big eyes. God gave me these eyes for a reason. I look and men look at us, and it doesn't matter if you're married or with somebody else. People still gonna look until we leave this earth. So you just want to look good for you. And keep it up even after you're married. Date. I say that. Make sure you date. The couples I know that's married and they seem happy. You don't never know what's going on in somebody's home.
Right.
But the ones that I think, seem happy, they date. And I'm so impressed when I hear that. I'm like, oh, that's good.
That's good.
They're date even when they're married.
Oh, yes. They date good too.
Now the last one, number 10. Oh no, number 9, and then we'll shoot to number 10. So 9 is a quick one. All women need is money to be happy. That is the largest relationship myth.
Money does not buy happiness for anyone. And needing a man's money and then I'm going to be happy. really is a giant myth.
But what can women do to stop perpetrating that myth? Because there's
Mm.
plenty of women out there
Plenty, Kimberly.
who want to get paid for their poo nanny.
Oh,
I'm gonna leave that to the relationship expert.
yeah.
I don't even know what to say to the
Actually,
food
Kimberly is
giver.
so right. I don't know where this came from. I'm serious, and I'm so old fashioned and old school, and I just only thing I could do is go by the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised, went to Westinghouse High School. I worked at Wendy's in high school. After that, this is 1980 something, late 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working ever since. I don't expect a guy to pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect a guy to pay my car note. This is me. I'm just independent. That's how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where these women get that from, where they should take care of me, I don't know where that comes. I don't know.
Right.
Well, maybe they were taught that. That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's where it comes from, is
They were
being
taught
taught that
that.
from their mothers, that has value. That
Right.
The sex with them has value, and make him pay. Make
Right.
him pay. If you're gonna be with them, he should be paying for it.
Right.
But okay, here's where the trickery comes in, and honestly, it's dangerous where you could lose your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you have some guy paying your rent and your car note, and you run around with another guy, don't be surprised when he does harm to you, because you're playing with this guy.
Right.
You're 25, 30, you have a 60-year-old. He's paying your rent, and if you don't want to be with him, you're playing games. People get killed over that. That's
Right.
not funny. My advice to people, don't take stuff from people if you know you're not really into them. This happened to somebody close to me. Hopefully he won't listen to this. He won't. But older guy, very handsome, had a young lady, 20 years younger, everything, trips, boots, help her, furnish her apartment, all this. He took ill. She dumped him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy people. Don't buy people. And women, to me, have your own. And of course, your guy is going to do good things for you. When you love each other, you
do
both
for each other.
But for me to expect Eddie to pay my rent and his rent, that's really something.
Right.
He must make a lot of money, huh?
Yeah.
But why not? Because I think they don't understand the why not. Why not do that? Why would you
that's
say
what a man is supposed to do.
Why
He's supposed to
isn't
pay my
it?
rent and his?
Why?
Then we should be married then. Why would he pay my rent when he
Right.
has 2 boys in college? That just doesn't make sense.
And it's a lot of women out here who would say, well, I'm not going to get with him. He
Well,
can't afford me. And
yeah.
that's the reason why a lot of men feel that they have to be of some type of financial standing, or,
Wow.
to be able to buy whatever the woman wants. And I agree with that. I think in a relationship is give and take. I think traditionally, if a man is dating you, he should date you. He can take you out on a date. I think it's okay every once in a while if you pay, but to expect somebody to pay all your bills,
That's
to buy
a lot.
it is a lot.
That's a lot to
And why
ask.
should they? I think as we've been saying, it goes back to self-worth and self. If you are a whole, why do you need him to pay? You won't even feel like you need him to take care of all this. It'll be that we are enjoying each other. We're together each other. We're enjoying each other's company.
Right.
It will be an added bonus that he does this and does that, but not something that is mandatory. Because I don't need anything to be mandatory for me. I'm whole as I am. So everything else is gravy.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
We stirring up a lot of stuff, agreeing on this one. Some women gonna be like, y'all messing it up for everybody.
Yeah, we just keeping it real, and we
Keeping
could
it
be saving
real.
some lives, because that's, to me, that I mean, I'm not a violent person by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm not a guy. But if I'm paying your rent and your car note, and you have another guy in that place, you gonna tell me I'm
And
not
then
gonna
it's
be
about
mad?
control. If a man is doing all this for you, best believe he gonna be expecting you to ante up and do something. So it's all about control.
And then they act surprised.
Exactly.
He wanted this. He paid for this dinner, and now he wants me to have sex with him. What did you think he was doing it for?
Right. So
I mean, just don't use people. That's
don't use people.
Don't.
All right. And lastly, number 10, a man and woman must be equally yoked. Now, this one is very interesting because, and we had talked about this, people throw that out loosely, but what does evenly yoked really mean? You know, for me personally, evenly yoked has nothing to do with his belief system. It has nothing to do with his money. It has nothing to do with his career. It has nothing to do with his goals. Being equally yoked for me means being with somebody who we can grow and journey together. We are both in a place where we're open to experience things together, to grow together, and to move in a direction together. But when you hear other people talk about it, girl, if you believe this, if you Catholic and he Baptist, y'all not equally yoked.
Oh my.
If he doesn't go to church every Sunday,
If he
with
don't go
you,
to church a Sunday, y'all not equally yoked. So what do you
Oh,
guys
my
think about the
goodness.
whole
We already-
equally yoked?
Well, I'm Christian. My guy's Christian, but he's Catholic, and I come from a Baptist background. But we both believe in the same thing: God, Jesus Christ. But okay, church people, get mad. I was in church a lot of years, and I never seen so much cheating in my life. So going to church does not mean that you have values. It does not mean that you're really sincere. So
In your heart.
in your heart. So you said something there, being open. Like I said, Eddie has a Catholic background. I'm more Christian, just, non-denominational. But he comes when we do get to go to church. He'll come with me. He's very open. He reads his Bible on his own time, but he's open. That's the key. He's open. He's not against what I believe in. We both believe in the same thing. So I think people get so deep, but I guess just being in church that long and seeing the stuff I saw, gosh, I just,
For me, I think equally yoked is not an external thing. Equally yoked is not having an amount of money or having equally yoked for me is being open, that we may not agree on the same things, but you're open that I'm willing to listen and hear what you believe. I'm willing to listen, so that we are equally on the same page of growth, that we're growing together.
And it's just that simple, that we're growing. Because if you think about the fact that you are individuals, because you are, so you're both journeying and you have your own paths. And if you're just open to sharing and experiencing, that's equally yoked. But if you have one person, well, because you don't go to church and I go to church, we not equally yoked. Or because you make $100,000 a year and I make 10, we not equally yoked. So I think you're right. People just take it too literally. And then they base their relationship decisions on that, which is, I don't think, good. So we're getting the signal to wrap up. I think this was a wonderful show. So thank you, ladies. I want you guys to log into our website because we'll be publishing soon all of the July workshops. So just to give you a quick and dirty on what's going on this weekend at the Journey to Wholeness Center, on Saturday, we're going to have a workshop from 1:30 to 3, Understanding the Shadow Self. That one is going to be really cool to understand the other side of us, and we all have the shadow. 5 Steps to Overcoming Fear. That's 3:30 to 5 o'clock on Saturday, and everybody is fear-based, so that would be just how to overcome fear. On Sunday, June 12th, we have a beginner's yoga workshop from 9 a.m. to 10 for all those individuals who really want to give yoga a try and you really want to learn the basics and philosophy of yoga. And on Sunday, June 12th, we have Tammy Walker will do fostering. I'm sorry, the 26th. Fostering healthy love relationships. So we can continue this discussion at the Journey to Wholeness Center, and that's going to be 12 to 1:30. And we have a big event coming up July 16th and July 17th, which will be the Intuitive Fair. As we get closer, I'll give you guys more information about that. As always, thanks for joining us and tuning in to Journey to Wholeness Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. And we will talk to you guys next week. Thank you.